Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Upon those ashes, the New World Order of Albert Pike, David Rockefeller, George Soros, the Bilderberg Group, the royalty of Europe, the great work of the higher Masonic orders.
They really are issues of the construction of a new world order.
Will finally be established. But there is always hope. Perhaps the mechanization of order out of chaos is beginning to cave in upon itself.
I think you're seeing in Europe the beginning of the end of the political correctness, at least a correction in it. I mean, in Europe, as I say, that this one attack has done more to bring the EU to an end than I thought possible. I think the EU is seeing a swing of the pendulum over to more conservative parties that want security, that want to eliminate this multicultural nonsense, this multicultural nightmare that Europe has become, the loss of identity. I mean, Europe is becoming a Muslim nation. And what they don't understand is that, Islam reaches a critical percentage.
8%.
You're in Sharia law.
It's about to get even more radical.
Yeah, it's going to get more radical. And they're going to try to align with the forces in the universities to do an Ayers-style revolution, which will mean opening the borders, rushing to the end of a new world order, climate change, all the things that Obama has predicted will want to do. He's going to rush to do. He's going to fail. I think there will be more terrorist attacks in Europe. I think there's going to be terrorist attacks in the United States. You're going to see more and more terrorists stopped at the border. You're going to see more and more criminal activity. The country is going to close the border, and the country may start throwing out Muslims in Europe and the United States if Obama continues to press this agenda. The Clinton Foundation is in its last days. It will be put under receivership by one or more of the states. Clintons will lose control of the foundation, and the Democratic Party will move far to the left.
For those of you out there still with doubt, just know this. Everything is going according to plan. John Bound for INFOWARS.com.
No one will go to the New York Times or care that it's even admitted that the government's hatching most of the terror plots. Or people will say, what are you doing? Endorsing radical Islam, saying it doesn't exist? I didn't say that. I said our criminal government is arming them, aiding and abetting them, protecting them to attack and kill us so they can take our freedoms. That's what I said.
Never water yourself down just because someone can't handle you at 100 proof. It's the Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Glenn Beck, and everybody else that runs around claiming that I'm saying there aren't any real Muslim terrorists. That's a load of crud, and you know it. Shane Steiner's involvement with InfoWarsLife.com truly happened in an organic way. I went to high school with Shane, his brother, knew his parents well, and he was visiting the office once, hadn't been to the office in years, and said, wow, I notice you're making and selling supplements. Do these really work? Because I've tried a lot of supplements as a workout enthusiast, and I really think most of them are hype. And I said, here, take some home, try it. Well, a few weeks later, he came in blown away and said, I want to buy 3 boxes of this stuff to give my friends and family. It's simply amazing. He said, why does it work so well? And I said, listen, go to InfoWarsLife.com, watch the informational videos with Dr. Group and others. They understand how it all works. I know that it works for me. That's all I understand. The science, the facts, the research, people's testimonials, they're all on InfoWarsLife.com. You can check it out for yourself.
I wanted to go to the gym. I wanted to push myself and work out harder, and that led to me being able to come out and do stuff like the barefooting and the surfing and stuff like that, which I've never done. I never would have done that 2 years ago.
Shane has said over and over again, more than just libido and energy, it made him want to get into the gym more. It made him want to get in better shape. And believe me, the Steiners have amazing genetics. His brother is a world champion steer wrestler. His dad, Bobby Steiner, is a famous world champion bull rider. They've got natural genetics. But when you added this to the mix, in Shane's own words, it took him to the next level. Shane noticed the mental clarity, Bobby was able to work out longer and gain muscle mass. He's already completely shredded. I gotta admit, for me, the biggest effect has been libido. Now, I've never claimed to have a body like some beach model, but back when I was 20, 22 years old and worked out every day, I looked great. But over the years, and being married, having 3 kids, and working 18 hours a day, I gained basically 100 pounds. And it's been a long process losing that weight in the last 4 years. But if you look at the photos and the videos of what I looked like 4 or 5 years ago versus today, the results are dramatic. I'd already cleaned up my diet, I was working out hard, but I'd only lost about 20 pounds. It was adding the other key ingredients from InfoWarsLife.com that helped me personally go to the next level and shed another 35 pounds.
This has actually made me feel so good that here lately, about a year ago, I started training jiu-jitsu, and that kind of led to doing some boxing and kickboxing. I mean, it's amazing that 2 years ago, I was on the couch and couldn't even tie my shoes, and now I'm training with MMA fighters and just doing stuff that I never thought that I would be doing ever again. So Super Male Vitality has allowed me to do some amazing things, and if it has those kind of effects for me, I know that it will do great things for you. So just try Super Male Vitality. I promise you, you'll love it.
And finally, let's look at Anthony Gucciardi, InfoWars.com reporter. He also works with Dr. Group and others, helping develop the newest, most cutting-edge, high-quality supplements. Let's take a look at what happened when he tried to barefoot ski for the first time with the Steiners. And remember, we're not making fun of him. He had the will to get in the arena, and he's lost more than 10 pounds in the last few years of fat and gained more than 10 pounds of muscle. And Anthony chalks it up to Super Male Vitality as well. Bottom line, folks, you want to discover the power of Super Male Vitality and Super Female Vitality for yourself by visiting InfoWarsLife.com today or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Dan Bedandi, InfoWars.com, here in Providence, Rhode Island, at the Rhode Island State House. Recently, Governor Gina Raimondo decided to follow the lead of the White House to accept Syrian refugees here in the state of Rhode Island. However, citizens have mixed reactions about that, as we have 2 protests going on right now, 2 rallies, I should say, that are for and against the decision. So we're going to question the public today on their thoughts about the Syrian refugees and their thoughts about ISIS, and also how important the Second Amendment is. Hi, Mrs. Golden. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you. How does the Syrian refugees coming in? How are we to dictate who and who is in ISIS?
This isn't a press conference.
Aren't you concerned about the ISIS members? Do you feel that Gina Raimondo does not represent Rhode Islanders in the best interest and also the security of the state?
Oh, absolutely not.
If she decides to take in refugees, I would think that that's against the security of the state of Rhode Island and citizens. I think it would probably be going against common sense and logic if it's not looked into further.
We've seen polls that have indicated that up to 68% of Rhode Islanders are against the idea of harboring the refugees. And for the governor to take such a strong stance on bringing the refugees in despite what the people want is a clear indication that she's playing politics and she's not listening to the will of the people.
I would encourage her to accept as many Syrian refugees and other people fleeing persecution as we possibly could.
Definitely for them coming to Rhode Island. My family is from Syria and we have family over there, and there are innocent people, and they have nothing to do with ISIS or Al-Qaeda or any terrorist groups. And there are 5 million children over there each day who are being negatively affected.
I would say first we'll take the women and children and then keep the men in. But to block the door of refugee, don't forget we're only taking 1% of the displaced Syrian. This is a symbolic move. We're not saying take all the Syrians there.
I'm in the favor of any refugees to come. We came here 27 years ago. This one of the very first people that I knew. 27 years, more than 27 years now. But we came for life opportunity. These people coming for a life.
We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people just like you and me. And if anything, I would be more afraid of a white guy like you because you're the people that blow up, that shoot schools and shoot movie theaters. Should we be afraid of all white American men because of that? Obviously not. So if we knew Syrians and were friendly with them as I am and had close relationships with them, you wouldn't see them as one big faceless mass.
Thank you very much, but I'm not. I have nothing to say.
We just look for your opinion.
Of course we want to bring refugees into this country. Why wouldn't we?
But the big concern is, aren't you worried about ISIS penetrating as refugees?
No, come on.
I mean, they did in France.
Come on.
Well, I think that's already been proven, hasn't it? It's been proven in, I mean, you look at Germany, France, and it's pretty ugly, and they would be sprinkled in among the refugees. I mean, look at the pictures, and it's 80% men.
I don't think there's a effective enough way to vet them, as the FBI has said. We don't have an adequate way to properly vet them.
In order to come to the United States as refugees, you have to go through a very extremely rigorous process. You have to have documentation from your country, you have to have a personal interview, you have to have background checks, and I fully believe and have trust in the Department of Homeland Security in their measures that they are taking when they are interviewing these people and allowing only people who are safe into our country.
A reporter did do the test, and he was able to purchase a legitimate passport, license, state ID, and everything from Syria, from the nation of Syria. 100% legitimate, not frauds, not fakes. He bought them for $2,000. He can go anywhere in the world with that passport.
You know what? ISIS will not penetrate refugee because it takes 2 years of vetting process. Well, the border is porous, so they can come through the border. To attack women and children and prevent them from coming to this country is un-American. If the ISIS wants to come in here, they won't wait 2 years with vetting process by 5 different securities agencies.
We know that they want to infiltrate. There'll be a small percentage of them, but let me present it to you this way. I have 1,000 M&Ms in a bowl. 10 of them are cyanide, deadly. Would you allow your children to reach in that bowl? Not in a million years. That's the only reason. I'm not saying I don't want them here, but once they figure out how to screen them properly.
We are vulnerable as a country right now. And the fact that other states have stepped forward and their governors, and I'm willing to gamble that they didn't need to be summoned by a state legislator for a concrete opinion on where they stood. They know that safety is an issue for their citizens.
But we have to put Rhode Island residents first. Their safety is priority, and we cannot take a chance with our own children. So to me, if there's even a chance that a terrorist can get in through the refugees, the Syrian refugees coming here, then we just shouldn't even allow it at all.
ISIS, if we want them, they can pop anywhere. I just read a report about 2 months ago that the Israeli government, they stopped 2 young men. They were planning to join the ISIS. So ISIS is not the Syrians. There's all those ISIS that came from outside.
There are ISIS cells, and they're waiting to be called upon, and that's why it's ultimately very concerning, for us to not do our due diligence by saying we need to hold off by any acceptance.
Being safe is not the biggest value. I believe in, what Patrick Henry said: give me liberty or give me death. And a lot of the people, like the Republicans who are coming out here, they've forgotten about that. They say the highest priority is keeping us safe. I say no, don't keep us safe if it means forgetting our liberties. Don't keep us safe if it means just thinking of ourselves as if we're at war and forgetting all our other values.
Hi, Senator. You're not concerned about the ISIS members within the refugees? It's an honest question, Senator. Senator, as an elected official, you should get your. As a Syrian American, what would you think our best bet to prevent ISIS from attacking here?
To never lose our values.
And you think gun rights are very important in this matter?
Yes, I am. I'm a Republican. I believe in a second amendment heartily. Yes, I believe in a Second Amendment, yes.
Okay. I think it would be very important to especially keep our gun rights, because we don't know what's going to happen from here on. So we definitely need a way to defend ourselves.
It has never been more important, ever.
Absolutely. Never more important at this time.
And don't you think gun rights will help protect us from ISIS?
That's such an insensitive thing to say.
How's that insensitive?
How?
Yeah, how's that?
After a shooting? Come on.
Yeah, so you don't think Americans should have a right to bear arms to protect themselves? You do realize the Second Amendment is the only thing that's keeping us.
Thank you.
Do you feel now more than ever that your Second Amendment, your right to bear arms, which is yours, my friend, do you think that's more important than ever for you to be able to protect you and your family?
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
How about you, sir?
Well, that's guaranteed by the Constitution.